Hello everyone, you're welcome back again. We're going to learn how to solve for the value of y from this radical equation. And the given equation is what? Square root of y plus square root of y minus 1 is equal to 4. To solve for the value of y from this equation, the first thing we need to do is to square both sides of the equation. So in the left hand side we have square root of y plus square root of y minus 1, which is equal to 4. So we square the left hand side, equally we square the right hand side. So when you have this term square, it implies that the term is multiply itself twice. So this is the same as what? Square root of y plus square root of y minus 1, then multiply by square root of y plus square root of y minus 1. All will be equal to 4 square is the same as 4 multiplied by 4, which is going to give us 16. Now the next thing we're going to do is to expand this to bracket. So remember your expansion. The first term will multiply by the first will multiply by the second will multiply by the first, the second will multiply by the second. So square root of y multiplied by square root of y. The square is going to cancel, the square root is going to cancel, so it will remain y plus square root of y multiplied by this term. Since it is multiplication, it's going to be inside the same square root, then y multiplied by y minus 1, then plus square root of y plus 1, square root of y minus 1 multiplied by square root of y is the same as what? Square root of y minus 1. Then square root of y minus 1 multiplied by square root of y minus 1. So the square root will cancel the square root. So we are left with just y minus 1, which is equal to 16. Now, what do you notice in this middle? Y into y minus 1, y into y minus 1. So we are adding the same thing. So we are going to have y plus 2 of square root of y into y minus 1, then plus y minus 1 equal to 16. Now, the next thing we're going to do is we have y here. This is y. So when we add these two together, it's going to give us 2y, then plus 2 into square root of y into y minus 1, which is equal to 16. So now we can take all the term without radical to the right hand side. So we are going to have 2 into square root of, let's expand this inside radical. Y multiplied by y is going to give us y squared. Then y multiplied by negative y is negative y, which is going to be equal to, here we have 16. When this negative 1 cross to the other side become positive 1, then minus 2y, because when you take this to the other side become negative 2y. So the next step, we're going to have 2 into square root of y squared minus y, which is equal to 16 plus 1 is going to give us 17, then minus 2y. Now the next step is to remove this square root by square both sides of the equation. So we square the left hand side, also we square the right hand side. This square will affect both 2 and this square root. So 2 square is going to give us 4 into square is going to cancel the square root. We are left with 4 square minus y, which is equal to 17 minus 2y square is the same as 17 minus 2y, then multiply by 17 minus 2y. The same thing multiply itself. So here, let's expand this bracket. 4 multiplied by y squared is going to give us 4y squared. Then 4 multiplied by negative y is going to give us negative 4y, which is equal to. So here we have 17 multiplied by 17 is going to give us 289. And 17 multiplied by negative 21, negative 2y is going to give us negative 34y. Then here we have negative 2y multiplied by 17 is negative 34y. Then negative 2y multiplied by negative 2y is going to give us positive 4y squared. So the next step is to combine the like term. If you look at this equation very well, we have positive 4y squared, and this is positive 4y squared. So when this cross to the other side become negative, so positive and negative is going to go. So we are left with what? Negative 4y, which is equal to 289. Then here we have negative 34y, negative 34y is going to give us what? Negative 68y. So the next thing we're going to do is to combine the like term. We have y here, so we can bring them together. So negative 4y, and when this negative cross to the other side, become positive 68y, which is equal to 289. Negative 4y plus 68y is going to give us 64y, which is equal to 289. Then we divide both sides by the coefficient of y. So we divide the left hand side by 64 and the right hand side by 64. 64 is going to cancel 64. Y now will be equal to 289 over 64. And here's the value of y that satisfies this radical equation. So if you plug in the value into this radical, in place of y here, and in place of y here, you are going to see that the left hand side is the same as the right hand side. Thank you for watching, and please follow us for more video like this. Thanks.